Hello everybody and welcome back to Sporting Memories Quiz on Sunday night, our regular feature. Recently we've been doing quizzes on decades. We've done we did 1960, then we did the decade of the 70s, and then this weekend we're looking at the whole decade of the 80s, which for a lot of people is still, well, for anyone, it's still going back in time, isn't it? Quite a long way. So hopefully this will conjure up some good memories, see how many you've got right, and see where we go with these. So number one, I'll just recap the question, then we'll give the answers. So number one, what football ground in London did Barry McGuigan beat Eusebio Pedrosa to win the world featherweight title in 1985? Now, this question generally gets a little bit of, not confusion. Some people generally go straight to Wembley. It wasn't. Sometimes you gravitate to the old Highbury. No, it wasn't. It was actually the home of QPR, which is Loftus Road. So he won the title at Loftus Road, a unanimous points decision at the ground, and he went on to become the BBC Sports Personality of the Year, making Barry the first athlete born outside of the United Kingdom to scoop the prize. So he won the Sports Personality in 85, and then in 1986, remember Barry McGuigan, he fought again in Las Vegas, wasn't it? And unfortunately lost his title to his Cruz, wasn't he? Steve Cruz, I think his name was. I think the problem there was McGuigan wilted in the heat of Las Vegas, where fighting Loftus Road was completely different. So that's number one, Loftus Road. Number two, who won Great Britain's only gold medal at the World Athletics Championships in '87, hosted in Rome? Now, in that era, you might have gone for people like Steve Cram. No. Colin Jackson, good try, but no, it wasn't him either. It was, in fact, in a field event, and it was won by the javelin thrower, Fatima Whitbread. Yeah, she broke a gold medal duck at this competition, obviously just at the right time for Britain, and she won with a championship throw of 76.64 metres. Amazing. Moving on from that, at the 88 Games in Seoul the year later, she picked up an Olympic silver medal behind a long-term rival, Petra Felker from East Germany. So the answer for number two was Fatima Whitbread. Number three, darts. Which player won the World Darts Championships in '82 and then again in '89? Well, it wasn't Eric Bristow. It wasn't John Lowe either. We were looking for the Scottish player, and it was, of course, Jocky Wilson. So Jocky Wilson, who beat John Lowe in 1982's final, and he went on to beat the great Eric Bristow in the 1989 final. So he was a prolific winner, particularly in the decade of the 80s. So well done if you got Jocky Wilson on that one. And well done if you got it without looking it up on Google. Number four. So, Winter Olympics this time. Which country has hosted the Winter Olympics in 1988? Any ideas on that one? It wasn't the USA, no, it wasn't Italy, but it was Canada. Yeah, Calgary. I tend to remember it from watching Eddie the Eagle competing on TV, because that's where he became famous at the 88 Games. And it was also where we had the Jamaican bobsleigh team that both became unexpected stars. We had the film, didn't we, Cool Runnings, and of course we have the film of Eddie the Eagle as well in more recent years. So number four, Canada, and the venue, if you're really good, Calgary. Number five, a bit harder this one. Which horse won the Grand National in '86 and then became fourth and second in the next 3 years? The winner was West Tip, that's West Tip, ridden by Richard Dunwoody, who rode him to glory in 1986. So as I said, he won in '86, West Tip came fourth in '87, fourth in '88, second in '89 and 10th in 1990. So that's one very consistent horse, I would say. So number 5, West Tip. Well done if you got that right. And number 6. On which golf course did Nick Faldo win his first Open Championship title in '87, shooting 18 pars on the final day to beat Paul Azinger by 1 shot? Well, it wasn't Troon. No, sorry, it wasn't Troon. It wasn't Glen Eagles. No, it was Murrayfield. Murrayfield was his first win. So the Open Championships he won in '87, '90 and '92. And he also won the Masters in '89, '90 and '96. So he won in total, of course, 6 majors, which made him a very successful British golfer. Number 7. Who captained Italy to World Cup success in 1982? Well, for me, I remember this player particularly because he was part of my World Cup 1982 Figure Panini sticker book. And it was Dino Zoff. Did you get that one? Well done if you did. The oldest player to win and lift the trophy because he was 40 years of age when he lifted it. After Italy beat West Germany 3-1. He spent a lot of his career playing for Napoli and the bulk of it at Juventus. He played for the Italian national team from the late 60s till '83 with a whopping 112 caps. And talk about going out on a high, lifting the World Cup. Wow. So that's number 7, Dino Zoff. Number 8, which American president officially opened the '84 Los Angeles Olympic Games? Can you remember that far back? It was the 40th president, who was president from 1981 to 1989, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan. It was Jimmy Carter who was before Ronald Reagan, and it was George Bush Sr. who came after him. But he was the President Reagan who opened the Olympic Games in 1984. Number 9. Who won the ladies' singles most times at Wimbledon in the 1980s? It wasn't Steffi Graf. It wasn't Billie Jean King. But it was Martina Navratilova. Well done if you got that. Now, in all, Martina won 9 titles, but they weren't all in the 80s. In the 1980s, she won 6 titles in total. 82, 83, 84, 85, 86 and 87. That's pretty consistent, isn't it? So basically dominated the 80s. So Martina Navratilova is the answer for number 9. Number 10. Who won Great Britain's only gold at the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid in the USA? And we were looking for, that's right, Robin Cousins, the figure skater. Do you remember him? The only one to bring home gold for Britain that year, but obviously skating did go on in the form of other people such as Jane Torville and Christopher Dean. Number 11. Ipswich won the UEFA Cup in the 1980-81 season, their only European silverware to date. Which of their players scored 14 goals in the competition that season? Now, you might have gone through players like Arnold Muren. No. Alan Brazil. No. Paul Mariner. No. It was, in fact, John Walk. John Walk, who had 3 separate times at Ipswich. He began at Ipswich in 75 to 84, moving briefly to Liverpool 84-88. We had a pretty successful time at Liverpool, really. Back to Ipswich 88 to 90, then Middlesbrough, rounding off at Ipswich 91 to 97. So John Walk, amazing player really. He's one of those players from midfield who got you a lot of goals, as obviously he did that season with Ipswich. So well done if you got that one. Number 12. Who was the winner of the 1986 World Snooker Championships at the Crucible after previously never having won a match at this tournament? Well, it was the 150 to 1 outsider from Bradford, Joe Johnston. And Joe won that final against Steve Davis 18 frames to 12. Interestingly, Joe came back a year later in 87 and got all the way to the final again, losing this time to Davis 18-14. So Davis got his revenge, didn't he? So 12 is Joe Johnson. 13. How many times have Liverpool won the FA Cup in the 1980s? Well, the answer to this one is, in fact, twice. And let me explain. 1986, they beat Everton 3-1. 2 goals with Rush, 1 from Craig Johnston. And in 1989, they beat Everton 3-2. Stuart McCall getting the Everton goals, whereas with Liverpool, Aldridge and Rush getting the other 2. That one had to go to extra time. So they've lifted the FA Cup twice in the 1980s. So well done if you got that one. Number 14, Formula 1. Which Brazilian Formula 1 driver won the World Championship 3 times during the 1980s? It wasn't Ayrton Senna. It was, often people forget he was Brazilian, but it was Nelson Piquet. Nelson Piquet was the Brazilian driver who became Formula 1 champion in 1981 and 83 with Brabham and 1987 with the Williams team. So Nelson Piquet, 3 times Formula 1 winner, Brazilian driver in the 1980s. And finally, number 15. Greg LeMond famously beat Laurent Fignon by 8 seconds to win the 1989 Tour de France. But how many tours in total did Greg LeMond go on to win? Well, he won a total of 3 Tour de France's, 1986, 1989 by 8 seconds, and the year later, 1990. So well done if you got 3. Interestingly, Laurent Fignon won the Tour de France twice, in 83 and 84, and sadly since then he passed away. He had cancer at the young age of 50. So tot up your answers, see how many you got right. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got plenty of them right without using Google, of course. And I hope you've enjoyed that little nostalgic trip through memory lane. Next time we're going to move to the next decade, the 90s. So until then, bye-bye for now.